Hi everybody, my name's Lynn Hayes. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the astrology for the week of October 26th, going all the way through November 3rd, which is the election in the United States. The first thing I'd like to talk about is that both Mercury and Venus will be moving into Libra. Mercury has been in Scorpio. It's traveling retrograde. So Mercury will be retrograding back into Libra. Venus is traveling direct, so it will be moving forward from Virgo into Libra. But they both shift on the same day. So this is going to bring sort of an infusion of that Libra energy that seeks balance and equanimity and peacefulness. These two shifts happen on October 27th. On the heels of a period of the last 2 weeks where Mars has been very active. Mars and Venus are, of course, diametrically opposed. Mars is all action and energy and passion and drive. Venus is more peacefulness, relating, love, a little bit of romance, beauty, and harmony. Now we're moving from kind of a Martian period because Mars is retrograding back out of range of the Capricorn planets and the intense alignments which we've seen over the last few weeks. And now the sign of Libra is becoming a little more important so I'm hoping that that will make the energies a little more gentle, a little smoother, hopefully as we get closer to this challenging election period. On November 3rd, which is election day, and technically after the end of the period that this video covers, but on November 3rd, Mercury will turn direct. So as it is preparing to change direction from our perspective on Earth, its motion has slowed down. When Mercury's motion slows down, that's when it begins to act a little bit wonky. It doesn't behave the way it normally does when it's traveling direct. So even though Mercury is preparing to turn direct, where communication issues will get back to normal, it will take about a week after the actual direct turn for this to happen. In the meantime, Mercury will almost be at a standstill as it prepares to slowly pick up speed. And all of this is happening the week of the election. We also have a full moon this week on October 31st in the sign of Taurus. The full moon in Taurus occurs when the Taurus moon is opposite the Scorpio sun. So we have the polarity between Taurus, which craves peace and equanimity. Like Libra, Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus seeks harmony, relationships. It seeks a sense of beauty and peacefulness. As an earth sign, Taurus is more concerned with matters of security than Libra would be. But those security needs require a certain amount of abundance and a sense of comfort, physical comfort, emotional comfort. So when the moon is full in Taurus, there is this blossoming of this desire for more peacefulness, more of a sense of stability, for things not to change, for there not to be all this chaos sort of spinning around. So under this Taurus full moon, which is October 31st, we're going to be seeking actively more equanimity, more comfort, delicious foods, sitting before a cozy fire, wrapped up in wonderful fabrics. These are all things that Taurus really craves. The desire for stability that Taurus craves is going to be knocked around a little bit though, because the moon in this full moon chart is exactly conjunct Uranus, the planet of radical change. So when Uranus is active in a full moon chart, the full moon carries so much energy. There's a lot of emotional power at the full moon, as we know. And when Uranus is there as well, there's a tendency for sort of potentially alarming events, surprises, perhaps events that will shock us or shake us in some way. We talk about Uranus as the awakener, and that's because it tends to wake us out of a sleep. If we've been feeling complacent or sort of sleepy just in our life, sleepwalking through our life, Uranus comes and wakes us up. It can make us feel restless. And here we have the full moon in Taurus craving that solid stability and security and plenty of money, plenty of food, plenty of everything is a good keyword for Taurus. And here comes Uranus. It says, maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you need something a little more exciting. So this full moon could be something that just, shakes us up a little bit, and perhaps we need to be shaken up. Perhaps we need to be knocked out of our comfort zone a little bit so that we can make some progress in our lives. And this full moon is likely to do that. Many people know about the old Celtic festival that's called Samhain, and a lot of people celebrate it on October 31st, but that is not actually correct. Samhain is one of the cross-quarter holidays, so we have the solstices and the equinoxes that occur at 0 degrees of the cardinal signs. In December, we have the winter solstice at 0 degrees Capricorn, and in June, we have the summer solstice, or the June solstice if you're down under, at 0 degrees Cancer. Then the equinoxes are at 0 degrees Aries and Libra. Those are the cardinal signs of action. They initiate the new season. Exactly in between the solstices and the equinoxes, we have the fixed signs, the signs of power, the signs that can be stubborn, the signs that can be unyielding, but which carry a great deal of power. Those signs are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. The 15-degree point of those signs mark what's called the cross-quarter holidays. Samhain is one of those cross-quarter holidays at 15 degrees Scorpio. This doesn't actually occur until November 6th. So if you really want to celebrate this holiday and get the most out of the energies, which is where we're moving from the light into darkness in the northern hemisphere, and where the veil begins to thin and we move into the cold and the dark season, then November 6th is the date that you'll want to celebrate your Samhain. There's an astrological point called the Black Moon Lilith that has gained a lot of notoriety recently. The Black Moon Lilith is not a planetary body. It's a point in the sky where there's kind of an empty space relative to the moon. And I don't want to go into all the astronomy because frankly, I don't really understand it. But the Black Moon Lilith, archetypally, has to do with the primal feminine rage against the patriarchy. In some ancient texts, Lilith was actually the first wife of Adam. The two were equal. But Adam didn't want Lilith to be equal in some of the stories. And so Adam went to Jehovah and said, I don't like this woman, make me a new one. And they sent Lilith out into the wilderness where she was shrieking. They stole her children. And so Lilith has a very bad reputation now. She's out in the wilderness shrieking. They say she's going to come and eat your children. They say she comes to men at night and robs them of their semen. So she really, has had a very bad reputation over the last 2,000 years. But she has come to the forefront during the Me Too movement, which isn't really surprising. I have found that she's very prominent in the charts of people that are active in the Me Too movement. So there's definitely a sense of this sort of rage against oppression, moral outrage with the Black Moon Lilith. The Black Moon Lilith has been intertwining with Mars all spring, all summer, and fall. So it's no wonder that there's been this tremendous outpouring of outrage, really kind of everywhere around the world, even aside from the current situation with lockdown and all of this. This Mars, Black Moon Lilith influence is certainly not helping to keep things calm. There have been many exact alignments between Mars and Black Moon Lilith, and one of them happens this week. On Monday, October 26th, there will be an exact alignment between the Mars and Black Moon Lilith, and the moon will be in Pisces. This is an interesting combination because on the one hand, we have Mars in Aries, where it's vigorous, where it's doing battle, where it's ready to fight, and it's conjunct the Black Moon Lilith, full of outrage, and yet the moon is in Pisces, seeking for peace. So there could be a lot of disruption without an easy outlet. If Mars is allowed to operate unfettered, free of any kind of restriction, Mars just goes in guns blazing, swords. But when the moon is in Pisces, We're so much more sensitive. We're very uncomfortable with all that Mars energy. So there could be some dissonance for a day or two while these energies sort of unwind and start to smooth out. Then on Tuesday, October 27th, we have a beautiful conjunction of the moon and Neptune in Pisces. The moon loves to be in Pisces because the moon is our emotions. It's the doorway to the soul. You know, our feelings connect us to the depths of who we really are. And when the moon is in Pisces, the heart can just open. We feel more faith. We feel more openness. And then Neptune helps to add this transcendent quality to this open heart and to this emotional sensitivity. This is a wonderful time, and this is really going to be most of the day on Tuesday, a beautiful time for anything creative, anything spiritual, and not just creation of creativity, but also enjoyment of creativity, listening to music, having beautiful things around you. We're just much more sensitive, and our senses are more refined when the moon in Pisces conjoins Neptune. And then that evening, we have Mercury retrograding back into Libra and Venus moving direct into Libra 7 minutes apart. There's a strong discomfort with disharmony when we have planetary energy in Libra. This won't last long because Wednesday, October 28th, the moon will move into Aries at 4:44 a.m. When the moon moves from Pisces to Aries, we go from this dreamy, imaginative spirituality to Aries, which is the warrior, the action hero. So there's definitely a big shift in the way the energy is operating at that time, especially because we also have Mars in Aries, we have Chiron in Aries. And on Wednesday, with the moon newly in Aries, the moon will conjoin Chiron. So there could be a great deal of emotional sensitivity, especially in the morning of October 28th. And this is Eastern time, so please adjust for your own locality. Also on the 28th, Mercury is going to form a harmonious trine to Ceres. When Ceres was first discovered, it was called a planet. It was then relegated to the asteroids, but it was recently elevated to planet status. And Ceres is fairly important. It has to do with our connection to our incarnation, how we feel about being in a body, how well adjusted are we, how comfortable are we being in a body on planet Earth? These are very important questions. When Ceres is in Aquarius, which it is now, there's a great need to take care of our energetic body. The modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and Uranus rules electromagnetic energy. And because of this electromagnetic and highly sensitive energy system, sometimes with Aquarius, we can have an overactive nervous system. Often people that have a lot of Aquarius or a strong Uranus placement in their chart can feel a fair amount of anxiety or tension. So when Ceres is in the sign of Aquarius, where we're dealing with a lot of electromagnetic energy, it's very helpful to find ways to calm that energy system, to calm ourselves, to find ways that we can be more peaceful, to calm the mind, which can be very quick. And with Mercury, the planet of the mind, harmonizing with Ceres on Wednesday the 28th, that's a very good time for this kind of integration to happen so that there can be more of a sense of peacefulness. It's also important with Ceres and Aquarius that we not overdo the technology. Technology is fantastic and it's wonderful, and probably 95% of us are addicted to it, and I know I am. I carry my phone everywhere. I don't know what I would do without it. But when we're always engaged with electronics, it affects the frequency of our physical body. It affects the frequency of our auric field, and it can jangle our nerves. So perhaps with Mercury in a trine to Ceres, we might, and I think I will, make a commitment to detach a little bit from these devices. On Thursday, October 29th, the moon, which is still in Aries, where we're still feeling more active, where we still feel much more of a sense of purpose, inspiration, motivation, but we can also be more frustrated, feel some anger if we're thwarted, especially when the moon aligns with Mars in the early afternoon that day, Eastern Daylight Time. This is a time when we have the potential to be more reckless. We're more active, we're less careful, so we can be more reckless, we can be a little more sloppy, we can get more easily frustrated. If we're already feeling angry about something and we haven't said it directly, it could just pop out at this time. On the positive side, we can use this energy to be more forceful if that's something that we need. But it might be useful to prepare for this time by determining, is there something that needs to be confronted, and maybe do it before Mars conjoins the moon in Aries, when things can just kind of pop off without any warning. For most of the week, Mercury, which is in Aries, will be squaring the 3 planets in Capricorn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, and opposite Mars. So there's a lot of tension in the sky right now. Mercury, remember, is still retrograde. It's going through Libra, where there's a dislike of any dissonance, but there's a lot of dissonance in the air. So that can be somewhat uncomfortable. And when things are uncomfortable like this, we have to make a special effort to find ways to feel more integrated, to feel more grounded, to feel more balanced. This will be especially true in the early hours of the morning on Friday, October 30th, when the Aries moon gets involved in the whole situation. The Aries moon will conjoin Mars, it will oppose Mercury, and it will square the Capricorn planets. So on Friday, just kind of, this is probably going to start late on Thursday, Eastern time. Adjust for your own time zone. And then Friday morning till probably early afternoon. Then on Sunday, October 31st, the sun will be opposite Uranus. So we have the Scorpio sun, very passionate, very intense, opposing Uranus, the planet of radical change, liberation, doing your own thing, being uniquely you. And the sun is all about expression of the self. So Saturday is a day when we're going to want to be more independent. It would be a good time to schedule some time for yourself to maybe take a look at what it is that you really want to be doing. If you feel any oppression, if you're feeling kind of blocked, it will definitely come out on that day. So in some ways, it can be a good thing because it can show you where you're feeling like your life isn't really working for you. The solar aspects, remember, just last for about a day or two. They're pretty fleeting, but we still have the moon in Aries at that time until 5:19 p.m. on Saturday when the moon moves into Taurus. Mercury has been in a square to the Capricorn planets, and on Sunday, November 1st, Mercury will align in a square, a challenging square to Saturn. This will actually last for almost a week probably because Mercury is slowed down, remember. It's not moving very quickly, and so that square is going to last for a long time. When Mercury in Libra forms a square to Saturn, it can create some tension and some challenges and perhaps some negative thinking, feelings of being blocked, feelings of not being good enough, lack of self-esteem. On the positive side, there can be an enhanced ability to focus. Sometimes this kind of negative self-talk, I'm not good enough, I don't like what I'm doing, sometimes these sorts of feelings can be the impetus that we need to create some change. And when Mercury and Saturn are in a square, there is an enhanced ability to be able to put ideas into form and structure. It's a very good time for planning. It's a very good time for strategizing. It's not a time when you're going to feel particularly optimistic and buoyant, because with Saturn, that's just not part of the reality. But it's a very good time for anything that requires focus. This is going to be in effect from, say, the 25th or say the 28th, 27th of October, all the way through November 6th or 7th. And this is because Mercury is moving so slowly, that alignment will be in effect for quite a while. And at the same time, we have Venus, which is in Libra, opposite Chiron in Aries. Venus, which seeks relationships, which seeks connection, which seeks harmony and peacefulness, opposite Chiron, the planet of wounding and healing. This is an aspect that can bring up wounds in our interactions with others, old hurt feelings maybe that we thought we had forgotten about. And again, this is not comfortable, but it can be very useful in showing us, wow, I didn't even remember that I felt that way. So Venus opposing Chiron has a lot of potential to create some changes that will bring about ultimate healing. And that takes us to Monday, November 2nd. The moon is going to stay in Taurus until it moves into Gemini the afternoon on Monday, and by then we'll have a new video. So thanks again so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week.